All right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so very much for joining us this evening. I do hope that you are especially um, happy, especially healthy, and especially well in these especially strange times. But I hope you are safe and secure and cozy. So thank you very much for joining me this evening. Uh, what we're going to do is going to be introducing you to a lady in a moment who has a redox experience. And if you don't know what redox is, don't worry. We're going to follow that straight up with explaining to you exactly what this tremendous health science and life science breakthrough is. I feel you'll want to stick around to hear that because it is something incredibly, incredibly significant. But I want to introduce Julie Watts to you, who is not only a lovely, lovely lady, but also a very experienced real estate professional, entrepreneur, power woman, but also an extremely benevolent leader as well. A strong and grounded woman that I really admire, and I'm very, very excited to have her here this evening. So, Julie, what I might do is I'll hand it over to you. I know that you have an experience you'd like to share with everyone, and then perhaps at the end I could ask you a couple of questions if you're prepared for that.
Yep.
Fantastic. So, would you like to go ahead and share with us what your redox experience was?
Yeah, I think you've got
I
my
need to
video
help
off.
you. I need to let you share screen, don't I?
Yeah, and the video's off too. You're right.
Oh, and the video's off too?
Yeah.
Ay.
You want me to hide?
Does that allow you to do things now?
Let me see if I can turn. There we go. Yeah.
I wondered why you weren't turning your camera on. I thought you were just waiting to surprise us.
No, it wasn't me. That's all good. Hi, everybody. Hope you're all having a great evening. So my ASEA story started 5 years ago, and I had a huge amount of health challenges prior to being on ASEA. And I want to say right up front, because there was a lot of them, that ASEA has not cured or treated any of those things, but it absolutely has helped my body at a very foundational level. And Steve is going to go through all of that with you later. And that is how this product works. It's not just a cure for anything. It's not what it does. It actually empowers the body to do things at a really genetic and cellular level. So prior to ASEA, I was sick from the age of 16. I'm 59 now. I had a ruptured appendix at 16, which literally nearly killed me. It poisoned my whole system. I was unconscious. I nearly died. I was on an antibiotic drip for a long time, and my total insides were messed up. So I had one of my ovaries and my fallopian tubes out at that time because they just rotted. When the doctors touched them, it just fell apart. So over the next 10 years, I went through about 12 major operations on my bowel, on my bladder, the other ovary that I had left. So by the time I was 25 and I had a complete hysterectomy where they took absolutely everything out, I only had 1/8 of an ovary left at that time. So you can imagine being on an antibiotic drip for a long time, having all of those operations and adhesions and things that were going on there. It really did actually wreak havoc with my system. And then at 25, when I had a complete hysterectomy, I was 25 years old and taking hormone replacement therapy. Which back then was just straight estrogen, which of course we all know now actually does cause breast cancer. So I ended up with breast cancer at 39, which had already spread to my lymph nodes before we found it. So I had a lot of treatment for that. And again, nothing to do with ASEA. This is way, years ago. So I had a lot of chemo and radiation for that. And of course, that really did a lot of damage to my immune system. And then prior to that, I had a lot of issues with my skin, a lot of abnormal cells. Even at a young age, I was having those. It's just something genetic with me. And my mum has them and my dad has them. It's like, yep, it's just in the family. And my brother has them. So anyway, but there were a lot of them. And then after the immune system issue with chemo, because it just totally knocked my immune system out, they just became more prolific. And I was having things, cut out of me constantly and burnt off, scraped off, you name it, it was happening. On every part of my body, a lot on my face, because I guess that's where the sun gets, I guess, and it gets damaged. But yeah, there were many. And again, as I said, ASEA has not cured these. It hasn't done anything like that, but it has amazingly helped my body just be well for a change. Like, my life changed after I started taking ASEA. And so that you know, that didn't happen in a hurry either. Like, ASEA is not a medication and it's not a drug. So it's not going to fix things like that. It doesn't do that. It just helps your body, you know, empowers your body to do what it's meant to do and what it can do if it has enough of these molecules. So by the time I was, that was 5 years ago. So by then I had a lot of issues with hormones and glands and lots of aches and pains and issues with my joints. And I was really not looking forward to old age, because, you know, I was in my less than mid 50s at that point and going, oh my God, what am I going to be like when I'm old? It wasn't a nice thought. I wasn't looking forward to that. But then over kind of like 9 months, some of these things just slowly went away. One of the things that ASEA does on a genetic level, and it helps to deal with oxidative stress and inflammation. And my body was highly inflamed, and had been since I was 16. Like, I was just inflamed. So what it did was help me deal with the inflammation. And when you deal with the inflammation, you deal with lots of things. And it's like when you have oxidative stress and you deal with the oxidative stress, it actually deals with lots of things. And that kind of explains why when people take ASEA, you know, these things happen. And it's literally not because it's treating anything. It's just helping your body deal with those things foundationally. And when they get better, then other things get better as well. So just so that I'll share my screen, Stevie, so I can show you for those who haven't seen what my face used to be like.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. So yeah, so this was me when I actually had cancer at 39, and again, absolutely nothing to do with ASEA. But what that treatment did to my immune system caused me a lot of grief afterwards. So this was after that, and you can see all of these other scars on my forehead where I'd had things removed. And then as my nose was actually healing up and my cheek was healing up, they took more out of my forehead. And at that point, the doctor broke the sutures 3 times trying to stitch that. It's called a H-flap. So he was stitching that H-flap up and literally was struggling. You can see the pulling of the skin here. There was no skin left. And there was a lot of adhesions and scar tissue under here from all these other things that I'd had removed, which was sort of sticking to the skin to my forehead. So yes, he really did struggle. And he basically said, we can't do that anymore. So we went on to different types of treatments, and these are just treatments for abnormal cells. So basically you can see that there were constantly abnormal cells. So this was one out of about 3 or 4 treatments, the same that I had, and I pretty much looked the same every time, except perhaps in different areas of my face. And then this was a completely different treatment, but similar, where you apply it all over the face. And this time they did my chest as well. And it was this photo, and you know, I will be forever grateful for going through all this. And I know that sounds really silly, but it's actually true, because had I not gone through this and had I not put this photo on Facebook, I would not have got a phone call about ASEA, and I probably would have never known about ASEA. And I'm so grateful that I do know about ASEA. So yes, I am actually grateful for all of this history, because it's actually got me to where I am today. So yes, I got a phone call about ASEA then, and I basically started using the gel first, because at this point my face was like that, and it was like just about to start to kind of heal. The doctor said I would be left with the scars forever, but they have done really, really well with Renew 28. So these are just other photos of treatments. So this was me after that treatment, like. And basically, I was sort of told that these might not go away, which was not a nice thought, but they actually did. This was another treatment that I had to have. It's called photodynamic therapy, where they just basically burn your face off. This was another one of those treatments we just looked at, both of these at different times. This is my chest one time and my face another time. This was me using black salve. You know, I did everything. I literally did everything I could possibly do. So, you know, that's some lovely photos of me that stop sharing my screen. So basically, kind of that's what my face and body have been through over time. And basically I started using the Renew, and I had such a really great clear up of that. Like, it wasn't treating that was a treatment in itself, that stuff. It would have healed up by itself, except it would have left me with some nasty scars, and the Renew really helped the scarring amazingly. And then a few months after that, I thought, wow, this stuff is amazing. I'm actually going to start taking the supplement. And I did start taking the supplement. And within about 9 months of taking the supplement, I was off all my medication. And I was taking a lot of medication. I was taking medication for joint issues. I was taking medication for my thyroid. I was taking medication for sleep and other stuff. So basically, I was highly inflamed. Like, my body was just inflamed. So I truly believe that you know, over time, like I said, you know, this stuff doesn't do some things in a hurry. It was about 9 months before I started to notice those changes. And the doctors took me off my medication. I didn't take me off my medication. And the really biggie here is the anti-aging effects of taking something like ASEA. Like, I had a bone thinning problem. So, and I had that because I had no ovaries at 25. You know, hormone replacement all my life, and all my adult life basically. And the doctors had wanted me to take a bone thinning drug for years, and I didn't want to take that. So I kept refusing to take that. It's a drug you take once a week. Can you imagine how strong that is? A drug you just take once a week? I think so. I really tried not to do that. And then over 5 years, and it kind of, well, it was actually 4 years. So over 4 years, my bone thinning actually slowed down, and the last bone density test I had, my bone density had actually increased. And that is with no medication. That's just, again, having a body working properly, doing what it's supposed to do. So, you know, my faith in ASEA is unbreakable. And yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that is an absolutely amazing story. I mean, you've been through, wow, some amazing experiences.
Well, like I said, I know it sounds crazy, but I'm grateful for every one of them, because I know about ASEA now. And if I hadn't been through some of that, maybe I wouldn't know about ASEA, and I wouldn't be where I am. So I'm very grateful for all of that.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, enough to go through those type of concerns on the inside, and then to have on top of that, them protruding through the outside, and you being told that's just how you're going to look from now on, must have been not only terribly scary, but terribly uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, it wasn't very nice. But anyway.
Wow. Yeah.
I sort of got used to looking like that, because I looked like that a lot.
Right. And look at you now, such a beautiful woman.
Certainly better than I was, that's for sure.
Yeah. That's incredible. Like, that is an incredible experience, and, you know, an incredible story. And, you know, like you said, you know, I understand when you say you're thankful you went through that, because I'm sure it's helped create the incredible woman that you are today as well.
Yeah, no, it's great. I love what, you know, I love ASEA. I love the fact that it really does help at such a foundational level, that it can pretty much, you know, help with whatever.
So perhaps, and I know you weren't prepared for this, so I apologize if I put you on the spot, but would you perhaps, you know, because you are, you know, a business, a professional, an entrepreneur, you know, someone who understands a business, if you could speak to, for a little while, obviously you're amazed by ASEA's technology, but would you like to maybe speak a little bit further on it, on what ASEA means, with
Yeah, yeah,
with
absolutely.
the business that's running in the background too.
Yeah. So basically, I had no intention of building an ASEA business when I found ASEA. It was not my intention in any way, shape, or form. And in fact, I used the products for over 12 months before I shared it with anybody. So I started using the gel in April 2015, and I introduced my first person to ASEA in July 2016. So it does show you I had no intention of building a business. But what happened was, over time, everybody that knew me, they knew I was always sick. Like, I was always sick. I was always in hospital. I was always having something done, and or my feet were broken, and I was in a moon boot because the little bones in my feet used to break a lot. So I used to quite often have a moon boot on one foot, whichever one was broken at the time. So yeah, and then when my skin started looking great and I wasn't having anything else cut out, it was like people started asking me, like, wow, what are you, you've been well, they would ask me what I was doing, and I would say, well, I've actually found this amazing stuff, because I didn't know any better. And they would say, well, can I get some? Where can you get it from, sort of thing. So yeah, I kind of fell on my feet in that regard. And a lot of people do know the story behind my health challenges, but a lot of people don't know the story behind my my wealth challenges, because Graham and I had worked for 40 years basically. I owned hairdressing salons for 25 years. I was a real estate agent for the last 15 years. And my husband had a good job, and in the last 10 years he came to work with me in the real estate office, and we basically thought we were set, like a lot of people, like probably a lot of people in this situation right now. We really did think we were set. We had amassed a property portfolio that we had been collected even since before we were in real estate, so it was one of my passions. And basically that was literally wiped out from underneath us in something that happened to the town that we lived in and the town that we had most of our property in. So in that town, houses were worth 50% of what they were prior to the crash, and units were worth 85% less of what they were prior to the crash. So you can imagine what that did to the market. There were no people selling houses, and we were in real estate. So basically we worked for the banks, because the only people that were selling houses at that point were mortgagee sales. So we were basically working for the bank, selling houses at ridiculously low prices. And even some of the people that we knew, like, it was just a horrible, horrible mess. And we were looking down the barrel of having to work for many, many years still in real estate, and not be able to get out of the situation that we were in. And my husband is 67 now, and he would have been working till he was 75 if it wasn't for my ASEA income. My ASEA income was our plan B, and thank God for my plan B. Like, if it wasn't, I honestly don't know where we would be right now. And you really don't ever know when you're going to need a plan B. Like, look how fast this thing that we've got now came out of nowhere and has decimated some countries so badly. And there's a lot of people out of work. And the beauty of this, being able to do this, being able to do it from home without there's no outgoings, there is nothing. You can start your own business for the price of the product that you take, literally. And share it and really, really change people's lives and get paid for it. I mean, nothing better.
Yeah. And I mean, you went through a crash, but we're going through an economic free fall like we've never seen before, obviously, because we're just in uncharted times. And, but with a business like this, where, you literally put virtually nothing up but the product that you buy, you're not buying up front for others. They're purchasing directly from the company, but you're being paid for that. There's going to be a lot of entrepreneurs entering the market now and continuing to enter the market that are going to be wounded, that are going to be either unwilling or unable to put up the type of financial risk that they put up to start their businesses pre-COVID.
Yeah.
that are, now being, as you said, decimated. And, here's an opportunity where they can come in virtually
Yeah.
no risk.
And we have a product that is no one else has.
Mm.
I mean, if you are here thinking about joining a SEA, you need to really think about that. It's not in competition with any other network marketing company at all. Just isn't. It's just
Yeah.
us, which is fabulous.
Julie, this has been such an incredible time with you.
You're very welcome. So
Yeah,
good.
an amazing story. You're an amazing lady, and you have some amazing insight too. So I'm really glad you could jump on here. And sorry to take you away from your guests, but I'm really glad that you
Oh,
could come
that's
here
all
and share
right.
a few words with
And
us all.
I'm very grateful for you, Stevie, and your lovely wife. You guys do an amazing job of what you do, getting this product to the world. You really, really, really do. You certainly have my admiration. So thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you so much. That means a lot because you are a tremendous leader in this organization.
Well, you are too. All
Really
right, I've
appreciate
got
you.
guests, guys, so I have to go.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
See you later, guys. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, folks, if you would stick around, I promise to be only, somewhere between the next 10 to 15 minutes, definitely less than 15 minutes. I'm going to explain to you, in case you don't know, what the heck we are talking about. What is this stuff that Julie used, and what is this tremendous organization? What are we all about? So let me just get my screen ready here. First of all, let me be clear, as Julie was, ASEA does not claim to treat or cure any diseases. Only pharmaceutical companies are allowed to make those claims, and that is not us. But what you are going to learn about this evening, let me just get my screen to work here. What you are going to learn about this evening is the most significant health science and life science breakthrough of our lifetime, a category creating breakthrough, a very advanced breakthrough, 15 years ahead of its time, a breakthrough with enormous potential in the magnitude of the discovery of DNA or the discovery of penicillin that for 2 decades, science had declared was impossible. A breakthrough so impactful on the human condition that global pharmaceutical companies offered to pay millions of dollars for the sole rights to this technology. However, they wanted to shut it down, leaving both reputable medical and business minds concerned that this may have impeded the release of this life-changing technology to the world. So before we tell you what this is, let me be very clear about what this is not. This is not a vitamin. This is not a mineral. This is not an antioxidant formula. It's not secret herbs, spices, exotic berries, fancy juices, super essential oils, magic magnets, alkaline waters, electrolyte waters, laser lights, roots, magical 5,000-year-old tree, lotions, potions, gadgets, or any of the other great stuff out there. All right, there's really great stuff out there, but I want to be very clear that what you're going to learn about this evening is literally an entirely new frontier in science. It is groundbreaking. It is category creating. You have likely never seen or heard of anything like what I'm going to share with you this evening before. Now, this is ASEA. And ASEA is a redox cell signaling technology, which contains active redox molecules. What are those? Well, they are the exact same cellular messages that are made already natively within your body. And they affect gene expression in a positive way, as Julie mentioned. And they help to protect healthy cells, repair your unhealthy cells, replace your damaged cells, and keep your cells functioning the way they should at optimal levels. And we're all made of cells. So we live and die at the cellular level. So basically, if you have healthy cells, you have a healthy life. Unhealthy cells, unhealthy life. However, why isn't my screen changing? Here we go. However, with age, diet, stress, toxins, and all sorts of other environmental insults, our cells break down and our body's ability to make redox molecules declines daily. So the older we become, the more we're insulted by toxins in our environment, the less redox molecules we make. And as such, our cells break down even more. And with it, so does our health, wellness, and vitality breakdown. Now, ASEA doesn't make any of this up. ASEA takes science very seriously and is highly committed to ongoing research outside of the company with world-renowned universities and top laboratories, proving the potential of redox signaling supplementation, demonstrating the safety and efficacy of the redox products, certifying them as safe and effective in every body. I'm having trouble with my screen tonight. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Here we go. So ASEA redox users enjoy cell signaling benefits, which translates to health at its most foundational level. ASEA redox has been scientifically tested and shown to signal the activation of genetic pathways and affect genes that improve your immune system health, that help maintain a healthy inflammatory response, that help maintain cardiovascular health and support arterial elasticity, that improve gut health and digestive enzyme production, and that modulate hormone balance to support vitality and wellness. Now, ASEA redox has also been, what the heck is going on with my screen? I do beg your pardon. I'm having some glitches by the look of it. Now, additionally, ASEA redox has also been scientifically tested and shown to enhance your body's own production, your body's own efficiency of antioxidants by up to 800%. In turn, it was proven to be able to lower oxidative stress, which is the precursor to just about every degenerative condition under the sun. And again, ASEA has been proven to be 100% safe and non-toxic because these molecules are native to your body. Now, any health challenge, and it's not just health challenges, it could be any health goal that you can think of, redox users and doctors are seeing just remarkable results. So we've spoken a little bit about cellular health from the inside out. Let's show you what is capable of achieving the same cellular health from the outside in, because we have topical versions of our redox sealing molecules, which means you can put them onto your skin and get benefits from the outside in. And what you're going to see on the screen is more than anti-aging effects. You're going to see, if my screen will change, age reversing effects. Very significant age reversing effects. You'll see, wrinkles and lines and other signs of aging fading away. You'll see elasticity coming back to the skin. You'll see inflammations, irritations, aggravations, and other signs of poor health upon the skin being rejuvenated, being repaired, being brought back to the body's blueprint. How many more dates do you reckon this dude is getting? And this type of problem can leave residual evidence that there was an issue, as you can see here, indentations and scarring from a condition not probably unlike the one you saw in the previous photo. But you can see the skin coming back to proper surface levels. Now, some people will notice results right away, and other people might need to use the products for a bit longer. Like Julie explained, she used the products for 12 months before she told anybody else. But some people can see results in 7 months. Some people can see results in 7 weeks. Some people see results in 7 days. We've had people see results in less than 7 hours. This next photo, when it finally comes up, is Rosie. Rosie, she believed that the products weren't working. So it was lucky that her doctor took photos. Moral of the story is take photos, because you can see the dramatic difference here. Hopefully on your side, it's not being as slow as it is on my side. I'm not sure what's going on, but let's just try to push on. So the next photo will show a few more photos of Rosie, not just over the 7 weeks, but over a couple of years, from 84 up to 86 and up to 87. Oh my goodness. We have gremlins in my computer tonight. So there's Rosie there, as you can see, over a couple of years. Now, this next photo is of Dr. Marty Moran, and he decided to do an experiment on his very own face and use Renew 28 on only half of his face and not the other. And before I tell you what side he did or did not use the product on, you can probably already tell. Here's some clues. Look at the side of the glasses that tend to be slanting on one side, just as the skin tends to be sagging more on one side, tends to be bunched up more on one side, tends to have a few more obvious lines than the other side. And so his wife preferred to sleep on the side where he was using the Renew 28 at night, because she really digged that younger dude on that side of the bed more than the older fella on the other one. But we thank Dr. Marty Moran for doing that experiment on his very own face and walking around like a weirdo for us so he could prove so obviously how this stuff works. Now, it's not just for your face, as you can see, arms, hands, bellies. We have a study that was done on ladies who had cellulite, and the Renew 28, our gel, the Renew 28, proved to be able to reduce the appearance of cellulite. And not just by hiding the cellulite. When ultrasounds were taken, it was shown that the subcutaneous fat that was causing the cellulite was actually dissolving. Now, this next slide is my friend Sepp Hock, and he had a spot on his back that ended up, a little spot on top of his skin that ended up being a big problem underneath the skin, a big problem. A problem that was health concerning, a problem that was life concerning, a problem that his doctor was amazed Sepp was able to come back for a second consultation, because in the doctor's words, patients with this type of condition are only around for the first consultation, not the second. And thanks to using the REDOX molecules inside and out, Sepp is happy, healthy, and feeling very safe, feeling very confident. Now, the truth is that with every great breakthrough comes great opportunity. And with ASEA, it is based in Nobel Prize winning research. In fact, if you went along to pubmed.gov and you typed in redox signaling, and pubmed.gov, by the way, is the National Institute of Health's National Library of Medicine, is where all peer-reviewed studies, clinical trials and peer-reviewed are posted. If you typed in redox signaling, you will see there are over 32,000 results. It's a very difficult slide for me to keep up with, because there are more than 150 studies coming out almost every single month. More than 1,500 medical textbooks have been written on redox signaling molecules. So this is a very, very rapid growing advanced area of science. Now, ASEA is heavily patented. That means we have no copycats. That means we have no competition. That means nobody in the world has what ASEA has. No one. Now, ASEA holds massive opportunities across all health science, across all life science sectors, whether it be healthcare, whether it be wellness, whether it be human performance, whether it be athleticism, whether it be sports science or life sciences, or whether it be anti-aging, beauty, skincare, longevity, any challenge, any goal you can think of, ASEA is giving their users and showing their doctors quite remarkable results. Now, our mission here at ASEA, our stated mission, is to better people's lives and to be a force for good in the world. We want to help a lot of people. We can't do that on our own. And so we are looking for people to help us to spread the word. And what ASEA does, they give you an opportunity to earn commissions just by sharing redox with others, like Julie did and like many others are doing. Now, you receive a residual income not only from the ongoing continuous purchases made by everyone you personally refer to ASEA, but also from the purchases made by every single person they and others also refer. So just like when we recommend a good movie, restaurant, cafe, book, whatever, people tell people, who then begin to tell other people, who then tell even more people, and even more, so on and so on and so on. There's no limits. Worldwide, ASEA is currently in 35 countries, and we're opening up new markets almost every single year. And based on the existing performance, based on our trends, the annual turnover is projected to exceed $500 million over the next 5 years. However, some business minds are saying this is very conservative and that $1 billion is very possible. So what does that mean for you? Well, for people who are perhaps, maybe now more than ever, are starting to reassess how they make their income, or maybe they really need to look for a replacement income right now, a supplementary income. But for people looking for either an extra or a part-time or a full time, or I want to have more time, or a big time, or maybe a legacy leaving income. For business minded people, this is a very significant opportunity to be paid a very significant residual commission from the growth of this global expansion. There's nothing better than making a living from bettering people's lives, let me tell you. Now, it gets a little bit better because you get to join forces with others who are also being a force for good in the world. And you can even be rewarded with all expenses paid trips to 5-star luxury locations all around the world, and have a really great time with family, and really good friends. And as you can see on the screen here, these are just some of the locations that we've been so grateful and so fortunate to travel to, spending time with really, really legendary leaders, tremendous people, again, that have become just like family. Now, what we're also very passionate about is bettering people's lives and being a force for good in the world in more ways than just with ASEA REDOX. We have a foundation called Advancing Life Foundation, and our mission of this foundation is to break cycles of poverty, abuse, and suffering. And I'm going to point out just some of the initiatives that we've been working on recently. These are just some, but we've been fighting human trafficking internationally. We've provided clean water in Cambodia. We've built a vocational center in rural Ecuador, and we've supported disaster relief funds all over the world. All right, so the redox signaling molecules in ASEA are so impactful on the human condition that pharmaceutical companies offered to pay millions of dollars for the sole rights to the technology. However, they wanted ASEA to shut down and take everyone off redox. Thankfully, founder of ASEA, Vertus Norden, said no to the payout and yes to the people already experiencing the greatly needed and life-changing power of these redox signaling molecules. And as demonstrated in this very first, very important decision, and in every other since, ASEA always puts people and principles before, over, ego, and economics. And we're very grateful to Vertus and his son Tyler for saying no to the profits, and saying yes, and having a deep desire, a sincere desire to look after the people. So we say thank you for that. And so we feel a great sense of duty, of responsibility, to be able to get these molecules into as many hands that need them, or at the very least will love them, as possible. And so I want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, very much for joining me this evening. I'm sorry about a couple of technical hitches along the way, but I hope that we've managed to be some small measure of value to you tonight. And I want to thank my guest again, Julie Watts. I'm certain you got some encouragement out of her amazing story. Again, we do not claim to treat or cure any diseases, but what ASEA does do is it empowers your body to heal itself. So thank you very much for joining me this evening, folks. I do encourage you, as quickly as possible, call the person that introduced you here this evening. It doesn't matter that it's 20 to 9 here in Sydney. Give them a call. They'll appreciate that call. And let them know that you're on this evening, and let them know what you need next. Is it more information? Is it you want to try out the products? Is it that you want to see it working on more people? Is it you want to see the science? Whatever it is, give them a call right now. Let them know that you were here. Even if you don't know what you want to do next, just let them know you were here. But I would encourage you to experience living healthier, living younger, and living longer by getting these redox molecules, as much of them as you can, inside and out. Thank you very much for joining me this evening. I hope you stay especially safe, especially secure, especially healthy, especially well. And thank you very much. Good evening.